be something delicious in all that slop. Put out the air fresheners, place a clothespin on your nose. Let's dig into the cream of the crop. Celluloid trash. It stinks, but we must watch. Celluloid trash. It stinks, but we must watch. I wanna be a positive renegade, making changes for the better, throwing out old rules and creating a new landscape that can be shared. Be kind, be honest, be courageous. I wanna be a leader, don't be afraid. A voice whispers inside, you have the power to change the wrong. Bring vision the past, build the future. Plant positive in your garden and watch it grow. I wanna be a positive renegade, making changes for the better, throwing out old rules and creating a new landscape that can be shared.
Howdy, gang. Hey, the poet, and welcome to chapter 6 of my path to becoming a positive renegade. Here in a little bit, we're going to be talking about the topic haters going to hate, but do they need to? And I'm going to tell you once again, like I always do with these, where I fall in that trap. So, and how we can help on both sides of it. You know, whether somebody's hating on you or you're inadvertently or not hating on somebody else. We're gonna talk about both sides of it. But as always, I like to get a little housekeeping stuff out of the way first before we get into this. So hopefully, several of you got to see the return of Friday Foolish last night. I know it was late notice, and the poet, I saw where you said that you had missed it, but was gonna, watch it on the. Well, no, that was something else. But I'm sure the poet that you went back and watched it on the replay, or if you haven't, you would do that in the near future. So, if you didn't get to watch the return of Friday Foolish last night, me and Candace were on for about 2 hours and 5 minutes or something like that. We had a really good time. There really wasn't a theme to it. We were just kind of throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. And it was late. We got started at 9 o'clock, but like I said, it was kind of a last minute deal. And we said, oh, why don't we do it at 9? So I got stuff out there as quickly as I could. Hey, Stephen, you watched it on the replay, Depot. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, because even if you didn't get to watch it live, a watch is a watch. And I hope that, whoever watched it on the replay enjoyed it, enjoyed me and Candace get back into it as far as Friday Foolish. So, but I also want to remind everybody that we've got quite a bit of stuff on the channel, in addition to Friday Foolish. So let's see, we've got, let me scroll down here a little bit. So, I have an Evil Dead Chick Slasher Fest for offerings Black Christmas watch along. This is the original Black Christmas from 1974. I do believe Hope was on there with me for that one as well. My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade, Chapter 1. And My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade, Chapter 2. Remember, it's not a competition. The all new Seductive Poison debut episode. Hopefully, I'll be able to get together another episode here soon for you guys and gals. Evil Dead Chicks Top 10 Christmas Horror. They don't open till Christmas watch along that Hope was on with me. Evil Dead Chicks Slasher Fest New Year's Evil. My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade, Chapter 3. Forgiveness is Key. Celluloid Trash, talking about the video Dead and Attack of the Beast creatures. Episode 1 of Horror Mania, talking about horror films from 1896 to 1899. Insomnia Cure, talking about movies I feel like that would put you to sleep from 1982 to 1983. They're all messed up, talking about Mary, Mary, Bloody Mary, and Stripped Nude for Your Killer. Evil Dead Chicks Top 10 Don't Horror Films. My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade, Chapter 4, Don't Play the Blame Game. Celluloid Trash, Beyond the Seventh Door, and Black Devil Doll from Hell. The second Horror Mania episode, talking about horror films from 1900 to 1905. Insomnia Cure, covering the years 1984 to 1985. They're all messed up, talking about Psychic Killer and Psycho from Texas. Evil Dead Chicks Top 10 Religious Horror Films. A Misery Watch Along. My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade, Chapter 5. Don't Spread Gossip as Gospel. Celluloid Trash, talking about Blood Beat and the Brain. The third episode of Horror Mania, talking about horror films from 1906 to 1910. Insomnia Cure, talking about horror films from 1986 to 1987. Evil Dead Chicks Top 10 Halloween Clones. And the return of Friday Foolish with me and Candace. And that brings us up to date. But we do have a Shining watch along coming up on the 31st, starting at 7 p.m. I rescheduled. They're all messed up. On Thursday, February the 5th, talking about the Swinging Barmaids and Alice Sweet Alice. Friday the 13th, which is also the day before Valentine's Day, I'm going to be having an Evil Dead Chicks Be My Deadly Valentine's Slumber Party, where hopefully several of us will be watching Schizoid. That will start at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. There's also a rescheduled Cannibal Holocaust watch along for the 28th of February, also starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I've got some pre-recorded videos on the channel for Midnight Confessions, talking about Final Exam. Me and Steve's First We Watch Movies, which is episode 8 of the new year. Pick Your Poison Taste Test for Stranger Things Gatorade Upside Down Citrus Cooler. Final thoughts on Stranger Things since the series recently ended. And a movie munchies for Billy's Black Christmas cookies, folks. I've also got a couple of polls up on the channel. One for watch along movie choices for Saturday, February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, folks. My Bloody Valentine is still in the lead. This is My Bloody Valentine from 1981, with X-Ray, aka Hospital Massacre, in second place, and Valentine is trailing at 12% of the votes. There's also a watch along movie choices for Saturday, March 14th, for Phantasm, The Changeling, and The Crazies. The Changeling is still in the lead with 57% of the votes, followed by The Crazies from 1973, and Phantasm is trailing, surprisingly, with only 19% of the votes. So if you want to have some say-so in what movies are going to be up for watch-alongs, be sure to get your votes in as soon as you can. Stephen, you say February 13th, that would be David Naughton's birthday, who starred in American Werewolf in London. Oh, interesting. I did not know that, Stephen. I did not know that about David Naughton. So thank you for sharing that. And we got a bunch more stuff coming up. As much stuff as I can do. Upcoming. Once again, I am on FMLA from work, which is leave. It's a medical leave. And I am also trying to get short term disability to allow me to recover. Now, y'all may, you may not, but people may look at me and say, well, you don't look sick, Dana. Um, well, it's up here instead of in here. So just thought I would share. Um, Stephen, I mean, if this is private, you don't have to tell me, but uh, in case you can tell me and you feel comfortable tell me, why can't you celebrate Valentine's Day anymore? Because I even celebrated Valentine's Day before I had a sweetheart. So, but again, if it's personal and you don't want to talk about it, that's perfectly fine. I just thought I would ask. I would inquire about that. But we're going to go ahead and get started with this chapter 6 of My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade. And, we hear this a lot, don't we? Haters gonna hate. Oh, well, you know what, Stephen? I'm going to invite you to celebrate Valentine's Day with me and whatever members of the gang are here for. It'll be at night, it'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern time, but I would love for you to come hang out with us for it looks like it's going to be my bloody Valentine. So I would love to have as many people as we can in here that don't, have plans for Valentine's Day night to just come out and hang out and have a good time. But yeah, that's bad. Yep. I'm gonna have it on Valentine's Day night. I mean, I have a sweetheart, but you guys and gals, we'll probably celebrate during the day. Me and him will probably go out to eat or something like that. Maybe I can get him to take me to Olive Garden again or something. But my night will probably be pretty open. Um, but anyway, back to the subject of this My Path Becoming a Positive Renegade. We do hear that all the time. People will say it to us sometimes to make us feel better. If we're feeling down, we feel like, I don't want to say we feel like everybody's against us, but, we feel like maybe people aren't appreciating what we do, whether it's a channel or it's a Facebook group page, or it's you do stuff on TikTok, whatever it is that you do to make your days and nights worthwhile, right? And so I think we've all went through this where we just don't feel like we're appreciated. Um, and we feel like, why don't people like what I'm doing? Here I am giving it my all. I'm being creative. I'm not hurting anybody, but why aren't people liking what I'm doing? Right? I think everybody has went through that at some point in time, whether you have a YouTube channel or you have another social media presence out there, or maybe you don't, you prefer to stay away from that social media, those social media outlets, and you're doing something on your own, like, and I'm not being sarcastic, you're building unique birdhouses, or you're crocheting, or because I worked with a girl who loved to crochet, and she would make really cool things. Um, And so, you can have any number of hobbies. They don't have to have a social media presence, but you're always going to have people that, for whatever reason, don't approve of what you're doing, or they don't like what you're doing, or perhaps they're jealous of what you're doing. It could be any number of things. And everybody has probably had a friend, a family member, or someone say, you know what, haters gonna hate. But you go on and you keep on doing what you're doing. And as long as it's worthwhile to you, you should keep doing it. I've been told that. I'm sure a lot of you guys and gals out there have been told that. No matter what you are doing. Okay. But I have found myself on the other side of that too. So again, I'm not only talking to those people that feel hated on, I'm also talking about those people that, while you might not think of it as hate, haters gonna hate is a phrase that has become well used over the last several years. Um, you're right, Stephen, and that is cool. I like to write too. I haven't had a chance to write all that much, but you said my hobbies are writing short stories. And you said that's true. We can't please everybody all the time. It's next to impossible. And it certainly is. Um, but when you take it too far is when it becomes detrimental to whatever somebody's doing, whether they have a social media presence or not. And this can even be family. Sometimes family means well, but deep in their heart, they mean well. But some of the things they say can hurt, and they can cut really deep. Um, for instance, I have a horror shop. Haven't had many sales at all, but I'm still working at it. This is still something I want to make a go of, right? But I've had people tell me, Dana, you're not selling anything. You haven't sold much of anything since you started this. Why don't because I have a heat press and all that stuff to be able to put stuff on t-shirts and hats and tote bags and all of that. And I've been told you should just really sell off that equipment. Just give up on it. And reclaim as much money as you can, because this equipment is not doing you any good if you can't sell anything. And I would be lying if I said that didn't hurt. But I just can't sell off all my equipment. I just got a new automatic heat press. I am not going to sell that sucker off, right? I might sell the old one to kind of, reclaim some money that I can use to put back in my checking account and stuff like that. But, other than that, I do not want to get rid of equipment that I still use. I don't want to give up on my dream of having a at least semi-successful horror shop. And horror is not all I do. As I've said before, I do custom work. So, if people need shirt designs for, a business, a side business, um, a ball team, whatever they need them for, hey, I would be willing to do that too. So, I'm not ready to hang up my jock, as they say, um, just yet on that. And so I would encourage anybody and everybody, no matter what your hobby is, don't give up on your dreams, folks. Don't ever give up on your dreams. You may have to put things to the side sometimes because more, things take precedence over it, like paying bills and stuff like that. And you may have to have a 9 to 5 job to do those things. But just don't ever give up on your dreams. And that's something I always want to instill in people. No matter what I'm talking about, we're talking about haters going to hate, but do they need to tonight? But that doesn't mean that I can't spread more positivity by saying that if you have a dream, if you have a hobby that you enjoy, that helps you decompress, that helps you de-stress, why would you want somebody to give up on that, right? But when I think of haters gonna hate, I think more along the lines of these deep-seated um, things where it may not necessarily be hate, but it's a sort of displeasure of some sort at another person. Now, I'm not saying it always has to be jealousy because I've always said about myself, why would anybody be jealous of me? You know, why would anybody care, what I'm doing with a channel or what I'm doing with my shop or what I'm doing with anything, right? My answer to people like that would be, well, don't watch my videos, don't come to my streams, don't watch anything that has to do with me. Just stay away. Would be the easy thing. And that's something that I would want to share with you guys and gals. If it's a losing, I don't want to say a losing battle, but it's a waste of energy. If you don't like somebody and you don't like what they're doing, why would you continue to, for instance, go to their channel to see what they're doing videos on? I mean, you could look and see what they're doing videos and streams on. You don't have to come in and watch them. And why would you want to do things to hurt somebody else or hurt their business or hurt their channel or hurt any other social media presence? Because I had to talk to myself about that. Because, I'm not saying recently, but I used to, if I was really mad at somebody, I would go and dislike their videos. And then one day I woke up and I said, Dana, why are you doing this? That's a very uh, pissy way to act. That's a very childish way to act, is to go on somebody else's channel and just to dislike, 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 dislike. And I woke up one day and said, I'm not going to do that anymore. Am I 5? No, I'm a grown woman. And there are better ways to deal with stuff than to go and jump on somebody's channel just because you're pissed off at them and dislike their videos or their streams or whatever. It's not good to troll either, folks. As much as we might get mad at someone and, just want to get back at them, don't be a troll. And I'm going to talk more about trolling in a later episode or a later chapter of my Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade. But that's one of the ways that you can hate on somebody, is becoming and being a troll. And by encouraging other people to go troll someone else's channel or troll their TikTok page or their Instagram page or Facebook group page, whatever it may be. Why would you want to cause problems for someone? If you don't like somebody, you don't like what they're doing, then it's best just to move on from that. And that goes for both people. That goes for people that have been hurt by somebody else. And that goes for people that are actively, trying to do these things. Because we can both do things that we get so angry we want to hurt one another. And I'm going to be talking also in a later My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade chapter about waving the white flag. And when someone, and I'm going to get to that, like I said, in a later chapter, knows that, in my own situations, I've tried to wave the white flag. And I don't bother any people anymore that don't want to be bothered. But I'm still on the other end of suffering, because I don't know who has it in for my channel. I don't know who has it in for my channel. It could just be some trolls that I don't even know. But my answer to people is, I don't want to say jealous, but if you don't like what somebody is doing, you don't think they're doing quality programming, you don't think they're doing worthwhile programming on, any social media outlet, then go and start your own and forget about that person and do your own thing. Don't go and dislike other people's videos. Don't come and troll. Don't hate on somebody else. Just, if they're leaving you alone, then you can leave them alone. That's the way I look at it. Hey, Agoraphobe, you say you just got to learn to let it go. It's not worth it. Trust me, I've been there and back. And I hear you, Agoraphobe. I hear you. And I know you're speaking the truth. But that letting go is also a two-way street. And if one person lets go and the other one just keeps at the other person, trying to destroy whatever they've created, for what, I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, my situation, I have let it go. But I don't like, and I'm sure nobody else would like, for people to come in and troll when they're trying to do a live stream. And nobody wants their videos disliked for no reason other than the person just wanted to go in there and dislike them and mess up people's algorithms on their channel. But I'm trying to be positive with these shows. That's the purpose of it. It's not just me complaining. I'm telling everybody, we all need to learn to be more positive instead of always picking at each other. And I put myself in that. I have done things to people that I'm not proud of, that I'm very ashamed of. And I vow never to go back to that behavior. But I just like to share my path with everybody else. You're right, Goraphobe. You can't control what others do, only what you do. And I know that, but I guess in my brain, I'm thinking if I can do it, anybody can do it. And it's, kind of like positive affirmations or something like that. I think it's good for everybody to be reminded of these things, whether they want to be reminded of them or not. Yeah, it took me a lot of years, Agoraphobe, too, to learn a lot of lessons that I finally, it kind of got beat into my head. But again, what I want to do with this series is to help everybody. I don't want to cause more friction with people. I just want to say, hey, folks, these are the things that I have learned. Just like Agoraphobe has learned some things. I have too. So I just want to share. Hey, Jordan. Jordan, I have not seen the Muppet Show revival trailer yet. You say, I hate what has come of all fan bases, especially with Star Wars fans now constantly bitching and complaining. Well, I don't really have a problem with, as a little side note to that, I don't really have a problem with people complaining. The only problem I have is when people start being pitted against each other and calling each other stupid because somebody doesn't believe the same way about a movie that they do. Well, Gorphobe, I just want to ask, do you think that I should not be doing these Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade shows? Because you said talk about what makes you happy and let it go with that. Um, because I've got a whole I got a whole slew of these to do, and I feel like it's something. I'm not saying I've been called by God or anything to do this. It's something that I felt needed to be spoken about. And people can take it whatever way they want to. But I'm not trying to get at anybody. I'm not trying to make digs at anybody. I'm trying to help everybody. And I'm not absolving myself of anything. I'm as guilty of a lot of this stuff as the next person is. Well, I mean, Gorphobe, I like you, I respect you, but I'm not going to stop doing these. And I'm not talking about what happened to me personally. I'm not mentioning names or anything like that. I'm talking about situations overall. Um, and if people want to watch these, they are welcome to watch them. If they don't want to watch them, that's their prerogative. But just don't watch. Don't come in here and I find out I've got 3 dislikes on one of these Positive Renegades. Because believe me, folks, I've noticed. Um, I know, Gorfo, that's fine. But I just want to make it plain that I'm not going to stop doing these. I can let stuff go, but I'm here to help others so that they don't, maybe they won't get in situations like I did. But anyway, so again, folks, I don't ever mean for these to be super long shows because I feel like it's beating a dead horse if you just keep going on and on and on about it. But if anybody wants to ask me any questions, or if you want to talk about in general terms about something maybe that happened to you, I would love to well, I want to say if it was a bad situation, I don't want to say, oh, I want to love to hear about that. But if you want to get it out and just like I said, talk about it in general terms, don't mention names or anything like that. Don't mention maybe specific situations that could be traced back to anybody. But if you want to share your own, whether it was you or somebody else, if you want to share, I'd be happy to take a few minutes to let you get that out because I think that's part of things. You know, yeah, sometimes, as Gorophobe said, it's good to let things go and just move on. But you also need to get things out sometimes. Hey, kids, you have to get it out any way you can. And to me, I feel like these shows are a healthy way to get it out instead of an aggressive, angry way of getting stuff out in the open. Um, and people are not always going to agree with me on this, and that is perfectly fine. Celluloid trash will be coming up tomorrow night, the poet. Yeah, I don't know if y'all have noticed a correlation between me showing intros for the next day show or next night show. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been trying to do. It's I showed the celluloid trash intro before I showed the My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade intro. And yes, so celluloid trash will be coming up tomorrow night, hopefully at 8 p.m. Eastern time to Poet. Um, I'm going to see what kind of stuff I need to add, if I need to add anything to the programming for the coming week. And I'm hoping to have a whole bunch more programming on tap. But if nobody's got anything that they want to share, then I'm probably going to go ahead and tie things up because, like I said, I get on here, I talk briefly about it, and I don't like to beat a dead horse. So I like to make these short and sweet and to the point. And also, even though I got this heater running on me, I'm freezing back here in this back room. So, but I want to thank. I don't think Agoraphobe's in here, but I want to thank him for being in here tonight and speaking his mind. Thanks to Poet, Stephen, Kits, for being in here tonight. I did see the Strangers 2008 movie, Stephen. I'm not a fan of the Strangers films. I've went back and tried to watch them and stuff, and just for whatever reason, they're not my cup of tea. The Poet, you say, did you ever get a notification from YouTube for monetization? Not for the ad revenue. Because when I got to 500 subscribers, they let me get, super chat money, super sticker money, stuff like that. But then I thought I was going to have to get 1,000 subscribers to be able to get the ad revenue. Well, then I found out I still don't have enough watch hours, apparently. So I guess the short answer to your question is no, I have not for full monetization. Yes, Stephen, I am into 80s movies. Really big into 80s movies. But gang, I guess I'm going to go ahead and tie this up. But hey, Gory Tiger, I hate to get off here when you just now got in here, but like I always say, you can always go back and watch this one on the replay. Stay tuned for Celluloid Trash tomorrow night starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a good night, Stephen. And thanks for stopping by also. And I also want to thank those of you that maybe didn't feel comfortable getting in the chat. I forgot to say that. Or you were on a device, watching us on a device where you're unable to chat, like a smart TV or whatever. I want to thank you guys and gals as well. And for those of you that couldn't join me live tonight, that will watch me on the replay, I thank you guys and gals as well for that. So everybody have a fantastic rest of your Sunday night, and I'll see everybody next time.
I want to be a positive renegade, making changes for the better.